Big Boys with Cool Toys presents RCTV, your radio control authority. Brought to you in part by X10 Productions. With your host, Nick Rack.
Fuel him up and get him on the track. Let's see how he's doing. This thing is massive. Today, this week's show is coming from the Hobby Show in Toronto. But first, you know what we're going to be doing? We're going to be heading out to Chatham to see a great plane called the Independence. Then we're going to be jumping on our own plane and heading down to Newfoundland to see the St. George Flyers Club. But first, rock crawling in the Rockies. Here we go, folks.
Wes reporting for RCTV again from the top of Belcarra Park, overlooking Greater Vancouver and the mountains, doing a little West Coast rock crawling. We're talking to Jason Whal here about his rigs and what he likes doing and why he does it.
Basically, I got into rock crawling because the challenge is you mechanically as well as driving, and imagination really comes into play when you're trying to climb up rocks and as well as building your truck. This truck is all built myself. Complete custom chassis. It has the low center of gravity. You can see the skid plate is angled and the motor is more forward in a 60-40 setup. The advantage to that is it moves some of the weight that is ultimately in your vehicle anyways forward. Gives me the option of not adding quite so much to the axles or to the tires. And with the skid plate angled, gives the a better approach over top and cresting obstacles with the weight up in front and the balance point kind of back here. It just pulls and drops over obstacles. Around here we all have the same option. It's called dig. It gives you the option of either turning off your rear axle or locking your rear axle to help maneuver through obstacles or around corners. It also helps a lot going downhill. If you're coming into a canyon, you can disengage the rear end and the front end just kind of pulls up the other side without a lot of binding, and it's a lot easier on your truck.
Sometimes a little bit of momentum will help you up a little smoother. Basically on the way up, you just kind of want to avoid getting anything caught under your axles or your chassis. Try and put your tires on the obstacles for the most part. This particular line you can get caught on pretty easily if your tire drops off the edge there. Oh, look at that, I actually made it up. It's a pretty difficult line and you don't always make it up it.
What was it that attracted you to doing this?
Well, I've done the one-to-one off-road for many years. Just found myself not wanting to spend all that money and damaging a full-size truck. I had a few friends who were doing the RC crawling and just seemed like a lot more fun, a lot less stress, and a lot lighter on the pocketbook and the family life, so it's a lot closer to home. So I got into it just about 8 months ago. Really enjoy it.
So, is there stuff you've done with this RC car that you wouldn't do in a real truck?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, it's nothing to think about rolling it over because you can easily pick it up. No one's hurt. You don't have to worry about passengers or collateral damage, as it were. It's nice because, you know, it follows a lot of the elements of the real stuff, but at the end of the day, you know, if something's broken, it's easy to fix on the workbench. It's not towing it out of the bush. You know, the areas being the size of the RCs, it doesn't take near as much terrain to have, you know, a lot more trails and obstacles to accomplish. We're all a pretty friendly group here, and we engineer a lot of our own stuff. As Jason was saying, there's, you know, wasn't a big background to it a few years ago, and in the past few years it's really become quite popular, and The innovations have really taken off. We're lucky here in the area we live of BC that we have a lot of natural rock. It helps to not keep it repetitive. I know with some of the racing, you're always out at the same tracks, and it helps you to push yourself and you know, get better at that track. But with the variance of the terrain here, it just always keeps it fresh. This is, you know, fairly close to a residential area.
It's silent because we're doing electric.
Yep. So it's really great to be able to do it here, and to have this many people who come out on a weekly basis, whether it's a competition weekend or not.
Oh my.
We'd like to thank the Lower Mainland Rock Crawling Association for having us out today, and the beautiful mountains, the fresh air, and having fun on the rocks.